Do you just want me to hate Star Trek?
Huh?
Do you just want me to hate Star Trek? That's what it seems like. Like, you're making me watch these shows. I don't want to watch any of the old stuff because this stuff sucks.
Welcome. Let's just start there. I was trying to make a thumbnail, but I think that that's a perfect introduction to the show, so we're gonna go with it. Hey guys, welcome to our review of Star Trek Starfleet Academy.
Hated it.
Which is Alex Kurtzman's new Trek is what they call this guy's universe. Why are we doing this? Well, I love Star Trek. I've always loved Star Trek. Same thing with Alex. He has always loved Star Trek. And the thing is, we've had very highs and highs, TNG and Deep Space Nine, and we've had very lows of lows. Star Trek Picard,
The ones I see.
season 1 and 2, Discovery, and stuff like
Like
this.
Mecha Boom Boom?
And Mecha Boom Boom. Don't forget.
I've been in close quarters with Zach for a week.
Okay, so you're into Mecha Boom Boom.
That's probably going to be on a top 10 list of 2025.
Holy shit, I forgot.
That might be one of the worst films we've ever seen, the Mecha Boom Boom. Okay, it's Star Trek Mecha Boom Boom. Don't get it wrong. It's not called anything else.
Okay, so you're into Mecha Boom Boom.
Oh, Alex Kurtzman is still in his executive producer role, but that is kind of currently a subject of speculation. Because this might be the end of his era.
Oh, no.
His contract has not yet been renewed. People are wondering, is he going to steward the Star Trek in the future? His Starfleet Academy show, I think, is his 7th Star Trek series that he's overseen.
He only needs 8 to get it right, guys.
In January 2026, and he's hopeful for his deal to be extended. So this is why we're reviewing it, because we want to see, is this a colossal fucking disaster? Is this show go against everything that Star Trek stands for? Does it butcher the lore? Is it awful? And is this a preview of either the death of NuTrek, or is it so good that it's going to revitalize the NuTrek?
No. I did that. Let's take that one off the table right now.
And get him a new contract. Well, Joe, I don't know with these CEOs in charge of Paramount. Who knows? They might extend his contract. I don't have a golden globe here or whatever. I'm sorry, a magic ball to look into. So we thought it might be fun and torturous, because you like it when we torture ourselves, especially Star Trek Picard series was a lot of torture, but it did result in a lot of good memories, you sick bastards. I don't expect anybody's going to watch this video, because I think NuTrek is done. I think the numbers have fallen so far. I think RLM had an inside man that said that their numbers, RLM, Red Letter Media, go check out their YouTube. If I want to defer on Star Trek stuff, I defer to, obviously, Mike and them. But they had said that these episodes of Star Trek New Worlds, at least the recent ones, were getting thousands of views, like less than YouTube videos sometimes. Now, I don't know if that's true or if it's verified, but viewership is waning, and then you come out with a series like this, which is Star Trek CW.
I thought it was a joke.
TV show.
Because of that poster. I was like, what the fuck is this poster?
They're all laying on the grass. Look at the poster here. We'll put the poster up. And this just looks like teenage drama.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
High school stuff. And love triangles and things. And it's like, is that really, what Star Trek is about? I don't know. Unfortunately, if the way we've been showing Star Trek off to Joe, yes, would be the answer.
I honestly don't want to watch.
Look, I've asked you to watch one episode, just one.
And that has been better.
And you didn't watch it.
Well, I watched
and you refused to. So it's like you blaming and saying, "Oh, I haven't experienced." I've asked you to watch one.
Yeah,
and you didn't watch it. So it's your own fucking fault.
I want the older stuff, though.
So that's why we're here. So let's jump right into it. Is this a colossal disaster? Or, is it as bad as everybody says? Because, okay, there's also another element to this, The cast is very diverse. I see people complaining about certain things. Like, for example, they have a Klingon in here who's a little bit more science-oriented. He wants to live through valiance instead of die through glory and honor. And then there's a Jem'Hadar female who is also a cross between a Klingon. And, in the original lore, the Jem'Hadar were clones. They were all males. There was no female. So how does a lot of this make sense? They're just making shit up. Now, the excuse to this is that Starfleet Academy is actually not set in the timeline that we're used to. Okay, it's not TNG, it's not Deep Space Nine. This is kind of a spin-off or a successor series to Discovery. So that's already ringing alarm bells. But this series is set in the 32nd century.
It's 800 years after TNG.
800, far, far future, and hundreds of years after Discovery, or some of the seasons of Discovery and Strange New Worlds.
The timey-wimey shit, yeah.
Right. And so that allows them to say, well, what if in 1,000 years in the Star Trek galaxy, is it possible for there to be some Klingons that are outcast? Is it possible for there to be Jem'Hadar cross Klingons? For me, yes, that stuff doesn't bother me. I don't give a shit about that. What I give a shit about is, can you make your characters compelling?
No.
Is the writing interesting?
No.
Exactly.
Set phasers to dumb.
Set phasers to dumb. Set phasers to CW drama. And it's a fucking shame because, surprisingly, the first episode wasn't complete shit. I actually was somewhat entertained by elements in the first episode. Yeah. Of course, that's when you're going to bring the money, right? That you need to really impact people on the first episode. It almost feels like a spin-off, short movie or whatever, right? You've got Paul Giamatti? Giamatti, God, he is chewing scenery. He is entertaining to watch. Him and our captain here, Holly Hunter, really hold up that first episode. She's got a ship, he's got a ship, a little cat and mouse stuff, even though the setup is completely fucking stupid and there's a huge plot hole. We'll talk about it. But the visuals are interesting. You can tell they spend money on the first episode. It's action-packed. And honestly, some of the character introductions with this Klingon, who I'm supposed to hate, the internet tells me I'm supposed to hate, I'm like, I kind of like that guy, and it's I kind of like that character.
I don't understand
some
how
of these characters kind of seem like I'm more interested in them than the Strange New Worlds characters. The chick with the haircut and this other lady and this robot lady that never gets to do anything, never talk. So I'm like, oh, I actually, maybe I might like these. And then you get to episode 2. Because that was just the episode when a ship is flying from some area where they're picking people up. And they're commissioning the ship, the USS Athena, and going to San Francisco. And then the second episode is, I think, probably more what the series is going to be.
Oh, for sure.
I have not seen a huge drop in quality, like tripping and falling on your face, going from highs to lows. It was awful. And I mean, the boys were already suspect on the first episode. The second episode, you can tell Joe is like, just doing this in his chair. No. It was bad.
Like, my eyes were rolling so much they were tired, so I had to shake my head. I was like, no.
And I think RLM puts it best here, or one point they made in a recent video, because they just reviewed the first season of Deep Space Nine. And in that video, they were making fun of how NuTrek has modern speak. The way the characters talk in it, right, is unlike...
They've got Riz.
They got Riz. They're fucking saying shit and bitch and fucking, well, okay, no fuck, but, just dumb shit, and people talking as they would talk today.
He needs to call his mummy.
Or one about an overcompensating fish boy who's sad and lonely because he has a teeny tiny fish dick.
Cadets.
Fish dick.
Cadets.
Because he has a teeny tiny fish dick.
Cadets.
And it pulls you out of the immersion, and I feel like it's honestly lazy.
Pull your shit together, Daryl. You're Kyonian, bitch. You're Kyonian, bitch.
Because if you are talking about thousands of years in the future, then you're going to have.
It's by design, though. That's, I mean, their whole thing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the original Trek. One of the reasons I love original Trek is it's supposed to be post-racism for the most part, post-sexism, post-scarcity. It's like the best of humanity and the allies of humanity, and we're going forth and we're like exploring. It's supposed to be an adventure thing.
Yeah.
NuTrek is the Federation is more gray than that. It's not the ideals. It's not this utopia that we're trying to strive for. It's a modern reflection of our modern governments and societies and all those other things, which is why it feels more like a CW show, because it's less sci-fi in the future and more like we're dealing with all the stuff that we deal with
Current
now.
problems now.
And so it's like all of the characters, of course. I mean, they made fun of like some guys like, oh, you got a little dick. In a Star Trek show.
No, and he's not saying figuratively. No, he's saying you have a little penis or dick.
He says dick. He says dick, and so it's just like that is where we're at now, because they have been striving for
students and kids
15 years, or maybe it's longer than that, to get new audiences to love Star Trek the way that I loved Star Trek as a kid. And what they did is they said, well, instead of doing all of the stuff that made us old guys like Star Trek,
when we were younger,
which was, writing sci-fi is hard. It's not for everyone. I promise you it's not for everyone. I read a lot of bad sci-fi. It's hard to write good sci-fi. So what they did is they're like, we'll just do teen drama and young adult stuff, and it's way easier to write that stuff. And so what they've done is they've kind of alienated, in my experience, me as someone who I was a classic fan. I just don't want to speak for anyone because a lot of people get mad when they're like, well, you're speaking for everyone. I felt alienated because all the things that I loved about Star Trek are kind of gone. And they're focusing on new audiences. Great. Yeah. Has it worked out for you, or are you getting dozens of views
I'm the
on
new
your
audience?
Yeah.
No, I don't like it.
Yeah.
which blows me away that how this guy is continuing to get series after series. Like, what is wrong with Paramount? I don't understand.
So everything I hear about Kurtzman is he delivers everything on time and everything either on or under budget, and so he is the studio's dream. Now, I didn't say that he's a great writer or a great visionary. It's just he's on time and under budget. And if you ever worked with contractors, that's great. That's great.
But if you're not getting any views, which I don't think they're getting views in, because who the fuck is Star Trek Starfleet Academy for, right? Who is it for, Alex?
I think 14 to 22-year-old people who are interested, who parents don't have Netflix anymore and only have Paramount Plus because their dad wants to watch, what's that, the Billy Bob Thornton show?
I don't know.
But so you only have that streaming service, and you're stuck in the house, and it's raining, and you can't leave, and so you want to get that teen drama, but the CW doesn't exist anymore, and so that's who wants to watch this show.
Okay, hold on one second. All right, I got done with the phone call.
Even
so what is
after all those things, it's for no one. It's for no
It's for no one. Oh, that's what I was saying.
It's for no one. Yeah, we broke it down. It's going to be these people trapped inside with Netflix or Paramount. No Netflix.
My thing, though, guys, and the point that I was leading to and I was walking to is, why don't they make the series for Star Trek fans?
Because it's hard. You have to pay those writers a lot more money than you do someone who... It is so easy to do a love triangle between teens who are acting hormonal, and the excuse is they get to act hormonal.
And those excuses are so weak here.
Yeah, they're so bad. But it's really difficult to talk about... Star Trek is submarine warfare and international diplomacy.
Used to be.
And that is hard to write. There's not a lot of people that can do that. And so it costs a lot of money.
So more perspective is you would have to get actual talented writers, novel writers, as they did for TNG. Some of them went and wrote novels, instead of these weaker writers who may have been hired due to industry favorites, contacts, nepotism, just being in Hollywood and knowing somebody and, oh, yeah, I can write that. That happens a lot. And I think that's what's happening here. And so that's cheaper. But it sucks because I don't hate the sets. I don't hate the explosions and the CGI and things, though some of the CGI on the worker robots are really bad. But once you get to the ship-to-ship battles, they're fine. It looks good. And so it kills me that we're not doing something that would appeal to the broader base, because you could still get, in my opinion, when we were younger, we got interested in TNG. We were at the age that people are at the age of getting into this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So I still think it would work, but it feels so, like it's almost talking down to its audience, like this is the only stuff that you're interested in. So you can't handle higher concepts that are in Star Trek. But you have to dumb everything down for you, make it modern day, and not ask difficult questions, not show moral conundrums that there's a clear right or wrong, or even better, there's a moral gray area where even when you do something right, you're doing something wrong. And this kind of, it's not at that level. And I just wish that, with all the budget and these things, that there are so many things that don't get made in Hollywood. There would have been genius and amazing. And something like this gets made, it just drives me crazy, because it's like, how?
Yeah, like I said, under budget.
Under budget, on time. And with streaming services, you just need
CEOs,
content.
They don't care. They just need content. We need the next. I need the 7th Star Trek show. What is it going to be? They do their pitch meeting, and it sounds great in the pitch meeting to the CEOs who don't know the intricacies of Star Trek and want to actually do.
Or they're chasing trends.
Good, right?
I mean, honestly, it could just be them chasing trends, and they're like, "Hey, right now, young adult stuff is super hot, and we can't get the rights to all the weird romantasy stuff yet, which is coming. I can't wait.
Yeah,
we're gonna start watching those TV shows when those come out."
So the show has already set up multiple love triangles, multiple dorm room dramas, and everything related to sort of growing up and becoming Starfleet officers, I guess. But I was interested when we were in space. I am far less interested when we are in the halls of San Francisco. It was a huge drop off.
Big time.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the so we watched 2 episodes.
Yeah.
That's what's available right now. The first episode was basically, the story boils down to, at least the line through everything is this captain. What's her name? Her name is Nala
Holly.
Aki. Holly Hunter, Nala Aki. And she is super, super old, apparently.
Yeah.
She's like 400 years old or something, because she's half, let me look this up, lanthanite. She's a half lanthanite, a species known for extreme longevity, making her over 400 years old, giving her vast experience, unique perspective, much like the character Pelia in Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And I was like, I've never heard of the Lanthanites from Star Trek. So I looked it up. I was like, what was the first appearance of the Lanthanites? One other character in Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2, 2023, which was Commander Pelia, played by Carol Kane. And she was the Enterprise new chief engineer, who was revealed to be a centuries-old, long-lived humanoid from a previously unseen species. A fact discovered when Uhura identified Pelia's distinct accent in the episode The Broken Circle. So it's just something they made up. And that's what I feel like. A lot of it doesn't feel organic. A lot of it feels created to serve a writer's purpose rather than, finding something unique and interesting in the world.
In the first season, or in the first episode, with this fucking crazy plot hole. Everything was just like written for convenience. It's like,
everything is written for convenience.
No, Paul Giamatti just happens to be hiding there, and then you sent a message, and
doesn't make any
he can
sense.
get there, but no one in Starfleet can get there, even though they're on almost to Earth. And
okay, so what is the big story in episode 1?
Caleb is with his mother. We see him as a kid, and his mother was working with the pirates.
Yeah,
because they're starving.
This is our main character,
they were
Caleb.
starving, and she gives up Paul. I don't know what his character's name.
Paul Giamatti's.
And they're captured, and it's like, okay, well, what's going to happen now? Well, he's going to go to prison, and unfortunately, you killed one of our soldiers, so you have to be taken away, too.
Yeah, pilot.
It's like, but that's not what you promised me, and then they get separated. And then Caleb is like, hey, I forgot my toy. Can you go get it for me? She does, and then he managed to escape.
He's a
He
4-year-old
tricks her.
hacker man.
Yeah, he's super smart.
8-year-old hacker gets out of a Federation prison. And that's the story. So the main
Finding
through
his
line
mother.
is the love between a mother and a child. The heart of this show is finding the mother. The boy wants to find his mother.
Give me back my
and
mom.
because the captain feels so guilty because she personally was the one who sentenced
Separate 'em.
them and separated them, she wants to not only put her wing over the boy and bring him to Starfleet under a provisional program that says criminals can go to Starfleet now, and then eventually find her mother. And so you have to ask yourself, is that interesting? Does that sound interesting? Does it sound like something you want to see? Because that is the main point and the main driving point for Caleb's character is finding his mother. Same thing with the captain. Is that interesting to you?
No.
Okay, well,
No.
I just didn't understand, if her mother was, a criminal and then was responsible for having some other officer die, why? I just don't understand why he blames the arbiter for breaking up the them.
I think
that's his mother.
I think it's alluded to that that you were going to get the sentence, like theft was going to be the crime, but instead it's felony theft instead of whatever misdemeanor because the pilot died, and so maybe it seems like the mother was like, wait a minute, you told me that I was going to get a slap on the wrist, but now I'm going to prison, and they're like, yeah, someone died in your stealing. So
okay, because this reverberates to the captain so deeply that she resigns from Starfleet. I guess because, and she says, I won't make more promises I can't keep when she's teaching new children or there's children running around and she's interacting with them. And Starfleet comes to her and says, we want you to be an instructor and join the new Starfleet because we're rebuilding Starfleet. And she's so broken by this one decision that she had to rule that these two be separated because they're criminals and they killed somebody. She leaves Starfleet. And it just didn't compute with me. But I guess it works a little bit more if she thought she had the authority and she told him, I'm only going to do this. And then Starfleet comes down on her and says, no, we're not.
She tries to explain it a little bit, like her son. It's revealed in episode 2 where she's like, look, my son died, and I feel kind of responsible about some of these things. It's one of the reasons that I'm looking at you, because you. And so even our main character is like, look, I'm not your son, but like you can tell that she's doing all these things because she's got weird feelings about her son and is viewing him that way.
So then we go back to he gets this action scene where he's being taken to a prison colony.
He's 21 now.
Just right, and he is jacked as fuck. This guy works out. He's got veins popping out and everything. He's super hacker, super smart. He's able to beat up all the guys on the prison ship and then somehow punch through the shield that blocks the cockpit from the fucking
He uses
prisoner
the guy's
area?
face. He uses one of the captor's face to shove through to disable the shield, and then walks through.
I'm like, I don't think that's how it works. You could shove somebody's face
these
as
guys
much
are.
as you want.
These guys are. Well, 'cause, I mean, maybe the shield opens up to the guard's face. You don't know.
That's a terrible security system.
You don't know, Joe.
Okay, well, it breaks.
You slam
and
on the brakes too hard, and the face guy's like, oh.
he takes out the whole ship, and but it's a feint. It's a fake out for the audience. You think he's going to get away. He doesn't. The transporter transports them, and he's like, you're going back to prison. He's like, I'm not going to prison. You know, all that.
Yeah.
That hoopla. But she does eventually visit him and rescue him. She gets word from Starfleet they captured Caleb.
Yeah, all in like 12 hours because one of the very next scenes he has to get a haircut and all this stuff, and she's doing the speech 24 hours ago. I didn't know I was going to be here. It's like all of this just happened in one day.
Why does she show up in black leather when she visits him for the first time
It's
in
a cool
prison? And
zip.
she's all
It's
like really, I'm like, oh, are we in the Terran Empire? No, she's
got style from 400 years ago, Joe.
She was just wearing white and being so regal, and the lens was soft, and so
You
you
wanna wear
think
that
you
to
would
prison?
do that in order to get him to do something you want to do, because she's trying to convince him to come with her. It's your best chance to find your mother. He says yes. Okay, so here we go, right? They get on the ship. They do the Star Trek thing where, oh, wow, look at the ship. And everything is advanced. I like Star Trek TNG era. I like the Galaxy class. I like the ships of that era. When you get to the 32nd century, the ships I like less. I don't really like the design of the Athena. A lot of it is floating elements, you know, because it's so futuristic. Now there's anti-grav and elements that are just kind of next to each other.
Some of it was kind of stupid. Like the barista's like, okay, well, you made a cup. I was like, why can't you just make the instant coffee instead of making a cup? That's so
make
stupid.
the cup, too.
No,
if they
she's
can,
still
they
doing
will.
everything old school style. They just make a cup.
Oh, right.
I was like, that's
It
stupid.
tastes better if it's not. They've not been able to
Really?
The burn
fucking perfect the
destroyed the replicators.
the replicator
It's
taste. Anyways, so yeah, and so they have this advanced futuristic ship, and it warps out, and on the journey they drop out of warp.
Well, we meet the cast one by one.
Yeah, we
all
meet the
this
cast.
stuff.
And honestly, this wasn't bad. Like you take a look at the Jem'Hadar, and of course she's bigger, rotund, and screaming and everything. I know this is going to turn off a lot of people, a certain crowd, but I didn't really hate her that much.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it.
Mind,
I'm just
right?
like, whatever.
Exactly. It was whatever. I'm thinking to myself, in the 32nd century, thousands of years later, can there be this? Can there be these outcasts? Yeah. So and I kind of like outcast stories, and maybe that's why I was like, well, so as long as they write this well, and this make fun, interesting
this
characters.
Whole crew is nothing but outcasts, so it should be for you, right?
Yeah, so it wasn't that bad. I'm saying each character I was somewhat more interested than when I got introduced to, Strange New Worlds characters or Discovery's characters. I actually think when they were doing, in that first episode, because they were giving everybody small little bits, like you got the Klingon who's nice, but yet still has the honor, would still protect his friend in a fight. And so you have the bully, and then you got the bully that shows up, and I'm Draco Malfoy, and I'm going to beat everybody
Can't
up.
compare to that. It's way better.
Yeah, he sucks.
It's way better.
And which makes no sense because he's the most kind-hearted bully. He's like, the show specifically shows how nice he is afterwards, like in interactions with other people. But it's like, if that's the person that he is, like, why was he a bully and an asshole in the first place? It doesn't make any sense. It's because you wanted the drama in that moment. Well, then make a fucking bully. Make an actual bully who's an asshole with irredeemable qualities. He's just an ace, very smart, very strong. And
the only person of his race ever to get invited to Starfleet, and
Right.
maybe it would make sense
Over
that he would be a
time,
bully.
you can make him a good guy, but right away they immediately soften him, and they're already showing how he's a good guy too. So that kind of dissipates a lot of the dramatic tension and episode mining that you could have done. But overall, the cast. I didn't hate the cast. You got, we can go over the cast.
You got the
but
bubbly hologram one.
that one is
a little-
pretty annoying
She's a
for
little,
me.
she's a little annoying.
Yes.
Sam because she's all in, so she's constantly on it, and it's like, calm down. And that's a point in the show. They say, everybody's telling me to calm down. So please calm down.
They're just young adult story tropes, and I personally, it's not what I'm looking for in this type of thing. And so it's like the first episode isn't terrible. It's not what I'm looking for at all in a Star Trek show. And yeah, when stuff was blowing up, it's like, oh cool, we're gonna figure some stuff out. And they're using tech speak. And we're like, we gotta find the coefficient of the frequency of the space doodads and align the things and the deflector disc and everything. And it's like, all right, you're trying. Like this is fine. But then we get back to the interpersonal relationships with these young adults, and I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, so, but before we get there, okay, so yeah, we do get some of that on the ship, and for me, that initial entrance of going to the school, that was somewhat fine. Then they drop out of warp. What is the situation?
There's debris. They called it subspace debris, I believe is what they said.
Well, before that, didn't he sent his mom a message? 'Cause
Yeah.
he hacked the system and he sent a message out.
I thought he sent the message after they dropped out of warp. Or did they
think,
send?
I think the message was before. Then they said, "Hey, there's some kind of anomaly." He sent the little code that him and his mom had. It's like, "Hey, I've been looking for you." Blah blah blah.
And it's a pirate's code.
Yeah, and then he gets interrupted by the love interest. It's like,
Yes.
"Oh, well, you got
Or
to
the
do
hot
this for
girl,
me, or
'cause-
whatever."
Yeah.
And then he walks away, and then we get an anomaly. He's like, well, let's go check it out. Maybe it'll be a teachable moment. They go over there and be like,
a trap.
It's a trap.
What is it?
Tachyon interference, Joe. It's the pirates, the space pirates who want warp cores, and it's Paul Giamatti who was there lying waiting, and he intercepted our guy's message, and he made it all the way to wherever he is, and he got there, and he had time to like set traps and like Home Alone it, and let's do full Kevin McAllister all before.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I guess these 30 nanite torpedoes hit them, or 13 nanite torpedoes hit them various spots throughout the ship, and they just kind of grow. I've never seen these before, but. And then his ship is a floater ship again. Like 3 elements come together. It's just a hyper futuristic that I just lose all semblance of attachment. And so he's got a crazy
the whole
looking
purpose
ship.
of the
they look more advanced than the fucking the Federation ships.
Yeah, I thought the whole purpose of the burn was to kind of like reset some of the creep. And so then it's like, all of everything.
That would have been cool.
And then it's like, cool, we're going back and we're actually rebuilding these empires, rebuild. And it's like, no, everything's so much more advanced.
It could have been a good excuse to still use the ships of the legacies that everybody likes, right? Because that. But no, I guess they move away from dilithium. Maybe all these ships are powered by something else.
Beryllium spheres.
Yeah, sure. And then so the ship shows up. And later on, it's revealed it's because Caleb sent the signal that they are able to show up instantly at the same spot and basically take over the Athena.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. But through our plucky captain, who her main trait is when she sits in the captain's chair, she curls up and
upside down.
sitting. It's as if they said to her on set, like, all right, every captain has a unique way of sitting on the ship, even number 2.
Well, she's a tiny person.
And so she kind of like sits in it like and drapes herself over it, and she'll be reading a book. It's really, really unprofessional looking, but she's hundreds of years old. She doesn't give a fuck.
When you get old, you stop fucking caring. You sit how you want to sit.
Yeah, so it's just funny. It doesn't bother me. She can sit that way. We can have a captain that's more lax.
All of the things to bother you about
this
show, if you're mad about like a weird Klingon or how she sits in a chair, go outside.
With the cups.
But meanwhile,
I didn't like the cups when I saw it, so I understand a little bit. Yeah.
We do get a reoccurring character, Robert Picardo, the Doctor.
Yeah,
he's going to have to be 900 years old if this is hundreds of years.
He's a
into
hologram
the future.
now.
He was always a hologram. He's the medical emergency hologram, but he gives himself age,
yes,
in order to make everybody else feel better. It doesn't make sense, but whatever.
It's for the show.
It's for the show. He was in Star Trek Voyager, obviously. He had a little bit, I think, in Prodigy. But I guess he's going to be a reoccurring character here. I like him. I always have liked him in previous, but it's probably because I like him because I've seen him in other stuff, not necessarily what he's doing here. What he's doing here is fine. It's entertaining. He's an instructor like everybody else.
Yeah,
of course, the hologram girl has a little rapport with him, and she's annoying him, and he's trying to, shake her free. What'd you say about Q?
Q, the musical.
Oh, Q, that's not a musical. See, this is what I was saying. It's like, that's okay. I mean, Data was singing opera songs and stuff in TNG. I don't mind that later on in episode 2 he breaks out in a song. But I had just told Joe, I leaned over to Joe, I'm like, hey, that first episode, at least they weren't breaking out into musicals and puppets. And then in episode 2, he breaks out into songs like, God
bring on the puppets. I'm ready for the puppets.
But yeah, so you get the action, and then the crew rallies together. The students are all good at one particular thing, and the bully can actually transform himself and his skin.
What is he called?
He reveals. Don't ask me that.
Because he has that stupid one-liner.
What's his one-liner?
Well, I don't know whatever the fuck
you
he's
remember
called.
it? What he's called?
I don't remember. That's what I'm asking. Because he's like,
blue guy form.
Well, you can't do that. It's like, I'm blue guy form, bitch.
You're Coyotean, bitch.
Oh yeah. Bitch. And I'm like, what? Good team. Good. Okay. Bitch and Star Trek.
You need a spacesuit to go out there. It's like, it's okay.
I don't.
I'm this kind of species, bitch.
You said bitch
And then
Star
he- and
Trek.
then he goes
Wasn't
out
that
there and
fun?
he
Isn't that
died.
novel?
And then he died like a little
They are
bitch.
17-year-olds, Joe. 17, 18, 19 probably. So that's how they talk. Okay, cool. So he does the spacewalk to figure out what this stuff is. And
He
then,
has to go scan it and then get the number for it.
yeah.
And then once he gets the number, he's got to punch it in. And then they're going to mirror the code, but they need to go to the warp drive. But that's where the pirates are because they're stealing the warp drive.
Yeah. So I'm rushing this along because we will do an episode
well,
breakdown, and
we gotta go to the
essentially they
movies.
fall. They figure it out together, and I like that. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's a nice little resolution that could be an episode of TNG. You've got a past villain that comes back, fucks with you. You solve it in the end. Now it's fucking stupid how he gets away. The captain manages to trick him that the warp core is going critical, and so they teleport out of
This is
there.
so fucking stupid, though. No one's leaving. He has eyeballs. It's like, oh, no one's leaving the ship. Like, what the fuck?
Why?
So
Yeah,
why-
you're just talking about leaving the
Oh,
ship. I
Alex,
could just
this
ask my
watch
guys.
is gonna explode. 2, 1. It's like,
and
that's stupid.
Transporter room on my ship, or engineering, or sensors. Has
You.
anybody left the ship?
You
No.
stay behind. I'll be right back.
Right, but they all transport out, and then the crisis is solved, except for he comes back. He transports back in. And he takes Caleb with the gun, and he's like, I got you now. And then they do an action scene where Paul Giamatti is fighting this jack dude.
But
I
Paul-
guess he's got nanites in his body, so he's powerful.
He's half Klingon, half something else, so he's super powerful. And I love that he thrashes this young dude.
He's Klingon? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he beats him up, but eventually Caleb gets the upper hand. How again?
He doesn't. Gets his ass beat. He loses.
He slams his head into
yeah.
the computer, and it says, "Oh, you did the code thing."
And then so because Caleb ends the fight in the corner on the ground with like a knife near him, like he lost.
Yeah.
But because the code has gone through,
Yeah, he went-
Paul Giamatti has to take
got
off.
it. He's like, fuck. And so he knows he lost, so he gets inside the escape pod.
Yeah, once that happens, all the systems are back online. She says, "Hey, fire on the ship." He sees his ship get fucking torn up. He's like, "Oh fuck, they have the upper hand." And then he goes into his escape pod.
And then as they blow up his main ship, he leaves in the escape pod. Alex is like...
Fire, fire.
Alex is like, Captain to Tactical, fire on that escape pod.
Yeah.
Fire on the escape pod. Fire on the escape pod, Tactical! Why is nobody...
Send a shuttle and like just do
pick 'em
something.
up.
Nobody notices this. Caleb doesn't contact the bridge. Somebody on the bridge would have sense. Captain, we have a escape. It happens all the time on TNG. One escape shuttle away, and nobody says anything, and they all forget about him. So he's out there floating in space on an escape pod.
And the captain and Caleb have personal vendettas with this guy, and they're like, "Nah, it's fucking let him go."
I was so mad. Like I was getting the score up there because this isn't that bad, right? That ended on a really sour note. And then the second episode just shows up, and this is just pure not for me. This is just teen drama and forced love triangles between characters that don't feel like they have any chemistry, and they do the thing where, oh, there's a cute girl and she's a part of the new, but this is kind of stuff in TNG, right? You need a delegation for the Betazoids show up because they left the Federation.
I was about to say that. It's like, look, with what
That
you guys
sounds
tell me,
good.
it's like with Star Trek, you need negotiations and how to resolve conflict. So there's 5
On
minutes.
paper,
There's 5 minutes of
Yeah.
this episode, probably from negotiations and stuff that's going on.
Right.
It's like, oh, we need to do this. The rest of this episode
Yep.
is just about the princess and him.
Exactly.
It's like, well, I can't trust you. Well, I don't trust you. It's like, my entire
you
life,
weren't lied.
I
You-
did this. and
I
been
want to
beat
see
up.
a whale. I want to see big things.
Yes.
I wanna
That
see
was the whole
big things.
episode. Not for me.
Right. if they had expanded the diplomacy and started talking about the different things, then in fact I rewound parts where they were actually discussing diplomacy. We'll give you 4 ships, starship this and that. And
Total 5 minutes of the episode.
I mean, how are you going to protect this? Or that was instead we're over here. He's like, on my days off, I explore the underground of the San Francisco
I just so happen
Starfleet.
to find some whales.
What? There's an aquarium. Well, I guess she came down because she heard there were whales in the water in San Francisco, but she's sad that she didn't get to see them. And then he gives her the present of a lifetime.
Just so happen to have an aquarium.
Just so happen to have an aquarium with 1 whale.
There's fucking 2.
I guess it connects to the undiscovered country in Star Trek, right? Of the original TOS cast movie. Whatever. This was stupid. I was so done.
It was.
And they was about to kiss, and then the delegation showed, what are y'all doing there? That's the president's daughter, and so the Betazoid's the president's daughter, and she's got an inhibitor chip because her powers are so great. She feels so much and deep that it would break things if they got rid of this chip. So that's clearly going to be something for future episodes and this love triangle. But in the end, the delegation basically says, fuck you guys, we're not going to join the Federation. And how do they resolve this?
They resolve this because she's in love with Caleb. Oh, shit you not? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because he's like, hey, I'm sorry I didn't trust you, because they were about to leave. And he's like, I need to go talk to her. He goes and talks to her. He's like, hey, this is my enemy, but I did this, and I'm sorry for not trusting you. I just met you 5 minutes. It's like, really? Why are you mad? It's like, I wouldn't fucking trust you either. I don't know you. But it doesn't matter. It's like, okay, well, I could see. We'll go back to negotiating.
Well, it's even better. It's even worse than that. It's so much worse than that because it actually gets set off.
Made it seem
there's a Fantastic Four meme where he looks at him. He's like, say that again. That is what happens in this episode.
Yeah,
because
she goes.
Caleb is talking to his mom chancellor lady, and then he's like, "Oh, you just got to go build it," and she's like, "What did you just say?
You
say
just have
that
to build
again?"
things.
And he's like, "Oh, we can build it," and then they set up this whole thing, and they're gonna.
But what he runs to build, he just runs over to her, and says,
"It's his job to get them back
I'm
to the
sorry.
table." Yeah, and he's like, "Look, I need you to go apologize to that lady, and then tell her to tell her dad to get back to the table, and then we will build the Federation's new base on Beta Z."
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so the Federation does make concessions because originally they weren't going to build the base on Beta Z.
We'll give you 4 ships.
They were going to do it on Paris, and so they said,
Paris,
if
Texas.
you bring the walls down, we'll build the seat of the Federation on Betazoid, which is a huge concession. And I guess the betas, and so he's like,
he looks around the room.
It's such an awkward, stupid fucking scene.
The wind chimes, Ali.
There's so many wind chimes, and he's looking around the room.
Well,
And then, the daughter gets this look on her face, and then she
Stands
looks
up.
at that hunky man that she likes, and she
that's a
stands
big
up.
thing.
And then this other guy stands up, and then they all stand up.
And
it's
then everybody in the class stands up. And we're like, what
the
happening?
fuck is happening? It's like, do you watch too many
Yeah.
movies in the 90s where, slow clap stuff
That's
happens at a house
exactly what
party?
happened. And then afterwards, he says,
Oh, yeah. I can't understand what he says. Well, he takes off his thing. I think he says yes. Maybe in the Betazoid language. I thought the Betazoid language is, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he basically confirms it.
Does
and
he?
yay, the program is solved.
but nobody. What does he say though?
You speed reading.
The situation is saved.
Why doesn't he keep that up and say yes?
I thought it was
You want to
funny.
hear it
Joe
from
goes-
his real voice, Joe.
Joe
Yeah.
goes, my answer is still no. Everybody sit down.
The fuck are y'all doing?
Yeah, what the fuck are y'all doing?
You triangle man, stop with the music.
Hey, wind chimes, cut it out. And that's when I realized that this series wasn't for me.
It took that long?
It took the second episode.
Oh, okay.
I actually didn't mind
like
the
some of the
first episode.
first,
I didn't think
but-
I would hate. I thought I would hate every single character in the first episode. I didn't. I thought I would hate this Giovanni and this. No, they carried the episode. These two, but immediately at the end where they fucked it up and they just let him escape and they don't even think about. They don't even fucking talk about it. 7 out of 10 on the first episode, right? 4 out of 10 on the first episode? Okay. Alex?
Probably 5. I like some stuff. I was actually annoyed by many of the characters.
I was.
I think the conflict is fine.
6 out of 10?
No.
Slightly above average?
For Star Trek?
For just the first episode.
For Star Trek.
Get the second episode. Well, see, that's unfair. You're right.
But it's Star Trek,
In terms of Star Trek, no. Yeah, my rating would definitely go below. I'm trying to be fair and grade it on a curve. Well, I'm comparing it with the rest of NuTrek.
Oh, no,
Let me preface my rating of 7 out of 10 on the rest of NuTrek. But if you're talking to Star Trek, then yeah, it's more like 5.
Yeah, for me, it's like I
don't.
don't have the nostalgia like you do. So like I'm watching this stuff, and I was like, okay, I just hope it's good because if I'm gonna watch it, I won't fucking waste my time. I was like, no, after the first episode, there were some cool scenes, but it's not enough to hold it up for me to watch another fucking episode. Then second one really fucking dropped.
Yeah, I think I've been kind saying it's like average. It's like you can watch it. It is still young adult sci-fi that's not great for episode 1.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay.
So that's how I'm saying 5.
So, first episode. Second episode, 3 out of 10. I was checked out. Not for me. Yeah, it sounds like a TNG script. Oh, you got to get the Betazoids to join. I like the idea of the Federation having to get people excited about joining the Federation, kind of resetting that universe. And maybe we can do this in the future. But no, most of it was set in just the hallways of this class, and it was just all the interpersonal relationships.
What about the
and I
mucus?
started to like the characters less. I can't believe I was liking the characters less when they were delving into them. When and I was like, fuck.
No, and then
they actually didn't give any time to the ones I liked. You know, the Klingon and the other chick. Now I'm forgetting them already. So that tells you a little something. 3 out of 10 for the second episode, guys. We gotta go.
They're also setting up this whole Gryffindor Slytherin thing with like the 2 different schools, and it's just like it's drama that I don't give a fuck about, and I'm not interested in. Episode, I don't hate it because I didn't. It's one of those. I know you don't like it, but like sometimes I just don't have the ability. I don't have the capacity to care about it enough to hate it. So I do think it's just higher. I think it's a bad episode. I think it's bad television. I don't think anyone should watch this. I don't think anyone should watch it, but I'm not going to give it like a 1 or a 2 because it's like yeah.
What would you give it?
I give it 3.
Yeah, I agree with the 3 because, like you said, all that stuff was supposed to be in Star Trek. We only got like 5 minutes of it. Majority of the time, it's like, oh, well, I'm the princess. I want to take a tour here. And the brother's like, yeah, let's take the tour together. That way I know what's going on. And they're like, oh, well, who should we assign? The goofy Caleb guys. They go, oh, the guy I like. So then they go on the fucking tours. Like, where the fuck is the brother? The brother said,
not even there.
I want to go figure out what's going on.
He's the one that brought
too.
it up, and it doesn't get done. He's not there because it's their date, Joe.
Yes.
He can't be a third
it's fucking
wheel.
Stupid.
We'll get into the specifics in the breakdown, but for the,
yeah,
it's just
fucking 3 right now.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, by the way, the music took a huge day. I was actually enjoying some of the music in the first one. In this one, nothing. And it turns out that Paul Giamatti doesn't actually sing the Star Trek theme when he's whistling as he's blowing up the ship. I guess they thought that was too much, but he does do the Vulcan salute there as he flies off in his escape pod, which didn't make any sense, but I guess he's just taunting the Federation. I don't know. Yeah, so we'll get into more. That is our opinion on the first 2 episodes of Starfleet Academy. We got to go. We'll come back and do the breakdown for you. Definitely skip it. It's not worth you buying Paramount Plus back as I did. I had to restart my subscription for this. And the only purpose now is I can go back and Red Letter Media made me a little excited about Star Trek again and watching Deep Space Nine over. So at least I have that. I'm going to go back and watch Deep Space Nine with the subscription instead of watching Starfleet Academy. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe show. Bye, guys.